Last Sunday, we opened the door into the life of Reverend Dr. Dorgbadzi, a scholar, minister, and cultural custodian whose journey from Ghana's School of Performing Arts has shaped decades of work in preserving African identity and indigenous knowledge. But that was only the beginning. In this final episode, we go deeper into her world of storytelling as a tool for development, how narratives shape communities, how culture preserves wisdom, and how Africa can reclaim its voice through the stories it tells. And if you connected with part 1, you don't want to miss this. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome. You are stepping into a conversation that truly matters. Stay with us to the end and share your thoughts in the comment section. Let's continue the story together.
Let's come back to storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of your major strengths. Actually,
Yes.
most of your works
Yes.
are in storytelling.
Yes.
When you hear the phrase storytelling, what is it about? And how is that related to development?
Okay. Storytelling has come to mean a lot of things. Film, spoken word, painting. It has come to mean.
Mm-hmm.
And truly, they are all storytelling,
Sure.
forms of storytelling. But when I hear storytelling, I know about folk tales.
Folk tales. Tell us
Folk
about it.
tales. You know, growing up, we didn't live most of our times in our hometown, but our parents made sure that we didn't miss out on the culture. For instance, our parents never spoke any other language to us except Ewe, our tongue language. And so we are all, I read and write
Tongue?
Ewe. Yes, I read and write Ewe. I read and write Ga. I read and write Chi. You understand? And I remember my mother was the one who taught me the alphabet of the Ewe language and taught me to read, not in school, at home, when I was a child and I had just started nursery school. You understand? So that was a deliberate effort. Now, we all need to make that deliberate attempt to do that. Now, we sat in storytelling sessions in our home in Medina. When our family had visited from our hometown, we had storytelling sessions. That is where I learned that even storytelling was even a part of the burial ceremony, the funeral processes. The night after the burial, everybody is tired. People go to sleep. The Sunday, we do the Thanksgiving. But that Sunday evening, there's nothing to do. And even the Saturday evening, after the burial, people sleep early and wake up in the evening. We tell stories to distract the weight of the grief. So the storytelling imports you into a different world, a different space. And we all, listened and told and danced and all that.
Go ahead.
But I forgot about it. Because of all the hustle and bustle that you're talking about. Until I had my son. My son one day asked me, "Mama, tell me a story." And I will say this to the camera. I recognized that question, "Mama," or that request, "Mama, tell me a story," was my son asking me to introduce him to the holdings of our ancestral archives. And it was not time for me to say, I have lost the key. I have to make this disclaimer that because of the reverend side of things, I have to make the point that it is not everything ancestral that is evil.
We'll come to that. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. That's a very interesting point you are making.
Yeah.
But you finish. We'll come to that.
And so that was an awakening for me that, hey, I couldn't remember any of the tales, the stories I had heard that, kept me thinking of life in one way or the other.
And even your family, your culture.
Yeah. How? So but I could remember Alice in Wonderland. I could remember Beauty and the Beast, the Little Red Riding Hood, all these things. But I couldn't remember my own cultural story. My
Heritage.
Heritage. Yeah. Intangible heritage.
Right.
I couldn't remember it. But I made up a story and I told him. So that was the turning point. Then
a rude awakening.
Yeah. Then I said to myself, hey, if I, a theater artist, cannot remember any folktale to tell my son, what will he tell his children? And what will other people be doing by now? If the theater artist or the artist who is, by all intents and purposes, the preserver of the culture and the intangible heritage.
The protagonist.
Yeah. So why? And that is when I started.
This is a very important point that you have made. Now let me use the word Rev instead of Doc. Because I'm interested. Here we are in our country, Ghana. We are supposed to be, that's what I'm told, I haven't looked at the statistics, to be a Christian nation. And yet everything about values, cultural, and everything seems to be going down. Where have we missed it?
Acculturation.
Explain.
We have missed it because we are looking not at ourselves but at other people. But there can only be one Sarah Dorgbadzi, and I must stay sincere to my past.
Is there an African side of God as opposed to a white side of God?
God says.
Let me explain. I don't subscribe to the phrase white man's God or white man's Jesus.
No, it is not.
So you being a theater artist, a storyteller, an actor, and by the way you are dressed, you are an Africanized woman, if I should put it that way. Are we right in saying that we have imported Christianity holistically in a manner that has taken a bit of our values and our culture out of the whole Christian context?
Yes.
You're a reverend. Explain to us.
I will explain.
Please.
You see, when you buy bread, this is the scenario I used to explain.
The storytelling is coming in.
I'll tell you a story, don't worry. When you buy bread by the roadside, wherever, it comes in a plastic bag.
Right.
Now, do you eat the bread with a plastic bag?
No.
You take off the plastic bag and you eat the bread. The bread is the face. The plastic bag is the culture of those who brought it. Do you get it? So, by all means, you will not eat the bread. When you buy yogurt, you don't drink it with a rubber. You drink the content and you throw the rubber away. Okay? So, in this context, the Christian faith is the bread. So we should be able to differentiate between the faith and the Western culture that supposedly brought it to us. I hope that explains it.
You know, it takes me back to the issue of values.
Yes.
And this is very critical. I mean, though in recent times, you see that even in the Catholic Church, they now allow people to play our local drums and all of that, you know. But some time back, it was not allowed.
Yeah.
Now, you go to places like Malaysia, India, Singapore. Let's take India, for example. They were all colonized by the British. but they kept their language, they kept their culture, and today look at their development.
Yeah.
Are we right then to say that there's a linkage between development and culture?
This is why I said that from day one, let's use our mother tongue to shape the thinking of our children. I will give you an example.
But your children are learning English first in the classroom.
No, we have the children are in they are in the home before they go to the classroom. So I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll give you an example.
Right.
When I had my son, I made a rule in my home that nobody should speak English to him. I spoke Ewe to my son. My husband is Ashanti. He spoke Akan. So we spoke both Ewe and Akan. So he was hearing
No English.
No English.
Wow.
My son never spoke English until he went to school.
Wow.
You know. And when I took him to school, nursery, and was it nursery or creche? I don't even remember now. And then the children were crying, I want to go to mommy. I want to go to my mommy. I want to go to my mommy. My son would say, my mama gbo, my dada gbo, meko me mami ho, meko me mami ho. And they used to laugh at him. This is where our teachers need to have an awakening. We have to decolonize the teaching, the pedagogies. Now, when after one term, my son got the English language. And you know, they were not seated according to regular classroom arrangements. They were seated around tables according to age groups. Now, they had to find a different table for my son because his thinking
was far ahead of them.
So now that he had, at the time he had acquired the English language, when he spoke the English language, the depths of his thinking was beyond the comprehension.
Because he could relate.
Yeah. So there is something about the mother tongue. That is what your soul responds to. Let that flame that your soul recognize. It is not for nothing that God allowed me to be born to parents from Mafi Devime. How can I not speak the language? Because that is the first language my soul understands.
This matter we are discussing, Doc, it's a very, very, very important issue here because you have parents whose children can't speak their dialect. You have young people who don't even know their hometown. They know Accra, they know everything about London, they know everything about America, but mention your hometown,
Mafi
Devime or Oyoko, they don't know it. What can we do about this?
Let us go back. Ure final Sankofa Yenchi.
And how do we do that?
Let us do that by starting from wherever we are. Let's start reversing the clock. Let us start unwinding, undoing that which we have done. The chains that we have put, we have tied the wings of the bird with ribbons, and we think that is okay. It is not. The ribbon is beautiful. Yes, the color may be radiant and glorious around the bird. Yes, but that bird needs to fly to be itself. So take off the ribbons. Take off the ribbons.
Let's stretch this argument a bit, Doc. We know the young people are the leaders of tomorrow.
We bless God for that.
And definitely once you and I are not there, they will be the people who take over. And
exactly.
So the question I'm asking is, if we are growing and developing young people who are technically disconnected from our lineage, our heritage, our culture, our values, can you hazard the future of this country?
Let me explain one thing first before we start talking about. You see, when we were born in Accra, I said it, that my father made a deliberate effort. I never went to my hometown until after university. Right. But I never missed out on anything.
Because they came.
Because they came. And my parents made sure that we were really well connected because they wanted us to stick to the schooling and everything, but not doing that at the expense of the culture. You understand? And so if Ghana continues to want to look like another, Ghana will never realize its potential. Because look at the Chinese. Yeah. They speak their language. When I went to China, I couldn't find one Chinese person who spoke back fluent English to me. No. They speak their own language. And in that space, your thinking develops in a very, I don't know what word to use, in a very positive way. Yeah. Because if this mother who has given birth to this child herself hasn't gone to school enough, and is speaking English to the child so that the child can do well in school, and they're telling the child, learn hard, okay? It is good. It is good. Yeah. You know, it will not help that child's development. At this point, there's one thing we need to remember. That when the colonialists came and established the schools, even at that time, the intention was not a positive one. At one point, there were humanitarians who came and said, oh, they can become like us. So let us rid them. Let us groom them to become, that's the word. Let us groom them to become like us, to prove the point. So the schools were also like a laboratory where they were trying to prove that the African human being is just equal, is just as much intelligent as the westernized human being. So it was a laboratory. And that is when you had the inscription, no vernacular here. You see. And so the point was to bleach you, for want of a better word, of who you are as a sample to prove a point. So if you want to still succumb to that idea, we bless God for your life. Let's see how it will end. But on another side of it, there's not the but yet. On another side of it, they were interested in giving us enough language so that they can have interpreters and have workers and be able to communicate on a certain level. Do you understand? So that is where we started from. You understand? And language is the vehicle for philosophy.
Absolutely.
So if you begin to learn their language, it is not for nothing that cultures are coming here, instituting Alliance Française and German Goethe Institute, and it is not for nothing. The Chinese have come and set up
all over the universities. All over the universities.
Yeah. It is the recolonization.
And now they're learning our legal systems as well.
You know, so please, there's a deliberate effort going on to replace us. And we have to be aware of this. A lot of Westerners come to our department. They are learning our drumming. They are learning our music. We enjoy it and say, oh, look at white people singing ever songs. They are doing well. They are liking us. No. The rhythms they are learning from here, they will go back and create a cheaper version of the drum.
And dilute our own.
And dilute it. Yeah. Meanwhile, they are keeping stock of what they have. And then they will now infiltrate our camps with the dilution. So after a while, there are a lot of... I met a white man on the train station at in America, and then I saw him wearing a Ghana flag
Right.
as a tie, and I said, "Wow, that's a Ghana flag." He said, "It is a."
Oh. Yeah, a lot of them speak.
And he says he is teaching Akan language in one of the universities.
In America?
In America.
Interesting. Interesting. In fact, there are a lot of them.
How many of us are learning
Chinese.
No, I'll tell you. There was one graduation time. There was a valedictorian who had studied Chinese and some languages, but he majored in Chinese.
Right.
Do you know when he was delivering his valedictorian speech? Do you know that all the philosophers he cited were Chinese? Not one from Ghana, or let's say Africa.
And he's a Ghanaian.
And he's a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Full-blooded Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Now, this Ghanaian, sorry about that, this Ghanaian that we have raised in our own university, have we raised him to be useful to our community?
Yeah.
Or we have raised him to be useful to
Yeah.
who?
Yeah.
Because he will not find acceptance in China. He will not be embraced in China. So what are we doing?
But I think, Rev, and now let me go back to Doc, because I think this question should be posed to you rather. You are in the highest academic institutions. You are the faculty members, senior lecturer. What kind of conversation are you guys having in the Tower of Academics?
Learning, the Tower of Learning.
Yes. Because you see, the issues we are talking about now, the Chinese are, for example, giving scholarships to our best and bright brains.
Exactly.
To go and do not first degree, but postgraduate courses all over the continent. Just like what the British did. Now, so only God knows 25 years from now, all the policy experts, all the whatever, the kind of paradigms they're going to bring to Africa now. So the question is, this is becoming almost like a security threat.
It is.
What is going on in the academics?
Well, these conversations are happening. You see, the awakening comes from one person to the other.
Sure.
You know, so the conversations are happening, but these are policy matters.
That's true.
When I was a fresh teacher, soon after college, there was a policy that children from classes 1 to 3 should be taught in Ghanaian languages. Sure. I don't like to say local because if it is English, we will say English language.
Sure. I agree.
So
I agree with you. I agree with you perfectly. I agree with you 100%. In the Ghanaian language.
The Ghanaian is a beautiful name.
Absolutely.
Ghanaian, I'm saying it again. Ghanaian.
Absolutely.
Language.
I agree with you.
So the policy position and the pedagogy
of teaching
or learning is the thing. I will tell you, I teach acting and directing.
Right.
Those are very practical skills.
Sure.
Now, there was a point at which my students always chose to do Shakespeare. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
They are doing Shakespeare. They are doing Western plays and things.
Yeah.
Great. But they don't have an intuitive connection with the culture.
And when it comes to acting,
exactly.
to be absent.
Actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's even something we call a diaspora, which is that the young people, they don't even know the way to the airport yet, but they are slanging American English. Well, you know, somebody sets their project in New York. And I asked him, have you been to New York? He said, no. I said, so how did you come up with this? It is from what they are watching.
Absolutely.
So we can never catch up if we try to be like them. if they are standing here, by the time you get there, they have moved on.
Absolutely.
But when we develop who we are, then obia dinilenu, everybody is following their track, and that is fine. You know, when I started doing the storytelling on campus, I deliberately, for two reasons, deliberately started on campus because if we think of leaders of tomorrow,
Right.
about a good percentage of them are on the campuses. And two, because a venue is very expensive elsewhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I do the storytelling events very often on campus. In March, I would do a storytelling festival where I call the custodians of the culture to come and tell the stories in the Ghanaian languages. We have the Ga night, we have the Ewe night, we have the Akan night, and we have the Gbanli night.
Interesting.
And when you see, oh my goodness, when the Dagbanli group appeared, I just looked at them and then tears started flowing. It was such a glorious, such a beautiful
Display
display
of culture.
My goodness.
So the question is, when I was young, we used to have cultural festivals in the secondary schools, where I think they would bring us, to have contests. In fact, there was one of them. I was the linguist, and all of that. I remember very well. We went and borrowed the linguist staff, and then we lost it. So it was big. It was a big thing. The school had to be. We've lost all of those things.
Yeah.
Now, what the issue we are discussing here directly affect development.
Exactly.
Because as far as human capital is concerned, these things are very, very important. So, two questions, and maybe I'll ask that first before I come to the issue of custom. Of course, you've said policy. We need to look at policy issues and all of that.
But there was a point I wanted to make. I didn't finish making it, which is that when my students began to experience these performances, their choice of plays changed.
Interesting.
A lot of them started devising pieces, questioning who they are.
Wonderful.
And creating things that reflect where they have come from. And questioning cultural practices from their background, not to denigrate them, but to make them better. Making suggestions to update some cultural practices. I think this is progress.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You see, culture changes at its own need for change.
Sure. Let's go back to the issue of religion and custom, if you like. You said not everything about custom is evil. As a reverend minister, what did you mean by that?
You see,
and I'm asking this question because not too long ago we had a professor. I'm sure you might know him, Professor Nana Hima. He did something on your campus recently about dondology.
Yeah. I know her.
Yeah. Okay. So, and he was very passionate, like the way you are speaking, that he doesn't understand why, for example, we call certain Nyamidria as fetishists and all of those things. So you are saying that not everything about our customs, as far as religion is concerned, is evil. Can you explain? Because here you are, most of the population in Ghana and in Africa are in church all the Sundays.
Yeah. You see, because of the cultural embodiment, that the culture of the people we recognize as those who brought the Christian faith, we tend to look down because of the no vernacular here. We tend to look down, first of all. So it is not even right to say the traditional priest is fetish. There was once, this story was told by Nana Jane Apenteng, peace be upon his soul, recently, because we were at a meeting, what do you call it, a Ghana Culture Policy Review Committee meeting. And we were talking, and he raised this. He said, listen, I think we're talking about religion. And he said, listen, he moderated a conference where religious leaders were brought to a table. And one traditional priest said, as for him, he was ordained from birth to take the position. It was a line, a lineage.
A lineage, yeah.
So he was trained and raised ready to take the leadership of that deity. Now, he has never stolen from anybody. He has never told a lie. He has never stolen from. He has never wrongfully accused, deliberately accusing anybody.
Falsely.
Yeah, falsely.
To lie about anybody.
To lie about
sure,
anybody.
Sure.
He doesn't do any of those things. He has never, for want of a better explanation, taken a bribe or anything. He has never killed anybody. And then Nana Jane Apenteng, asked all pastors sitting at the table, can you say what this man has said?
No, Jesus will forgive us. And once you're forgiven, it's gone. So your past is no more. Yeah. I'm laughing, but it's a very important, very serious matter. Yeah.
In the early 2000s, a colleague of mine, we were students at the time, went to do research in Kliko, Agbozuma Kliko. That is the area of traditional religion. Only recently, about a few months ago, I went there on a certain research quest, and I found out that there's a Catholic church. And now there's a police station. At that time, there was no police station. Why? Because when you put your thing down, nobody will steal it.
And now the Catholic Church has come, so you go there, you go for forgiveness, and then...
Because everybody worships the deities there. And they all know the rules. And they all understand that wrong is wrong and right is right. You know the interesting thing?
No.
They call witchcraft wrong. The things we Christians call wrong, they also call wrong.
The deities?
Yeah.
Interesting. They call witchcraft wrong.
They call witchcraft evil.
Interesting.
You understand? So the African knew God before the Westerner arrived.
This is coming from a Reverend Doctor.
Yeah. When we talk about Tradian Ponyankopon, we know who God is. It is not the Westerner who brought it. The only difference is Christ and Him crucified.
Right. And that is what we are also using to do all the evils.
Is that what it's meant to be?
Well, it's not supposed to be.
It's not supposed to be.
You can't even leave your phone in church.
Oh, only recently it happened.
Okay.
Somebody charging his phone, the phone disappeared.
Right.
My sister told me an interesting story, which will make you laugh.
Right.
She took her Bible to church, and the Bible got lost. She put it somewhere, went somewhere, came back, the Bible was lost.
Sure.
Many months later, she was sitting in church by a young man who was holding her
The Bible.
I said, excuse me, can I look at the Bible? She took the Bible, checked it, and it was hers. Her name was on it. And he told the young man, the Bible is mine. He said, okay. She didn't argue. He said, okay, let me use it for the service. After the service, I'll give it back to you. What happened? At one point, after the sermon, they said, let's stand and pray. And everybody, he was gone with the Bible.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
May he find true salvation.
Yeah.
If he will use the Bible,
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
You understand? So we are found in the middle of nowhere. We are not following the Christ doctrine truthfully. No, I shouldn't say truthfully. Sincerely.
Yeah. Yeah. We seem to have added our own, a color to it.
Exactly.
Out of convenience.
And you see, I will say this. The Christianity that we are practicing today, the charismaticism that has, is that correct?
Charismatism.
Charismatism. The charismatism that we are practicing today is based on the Bible.
Yeah.
But it is, when you look at it properly and investigate it, it is a business venture created in America.
Yeah. It is.
So it is American manufactured Christianity, and the ultimate object or objective is profit.
Sure.
Is to make wealth.
Which means this is a very interesting. We need to revisit this subject matter another time, and because if you have a country or a continent where close to 65% say they go to church, they are Christians, and this is the kind of practicing we are undertaking, that's serious.
It is. You see, I'll make this point, which is that in the Bible, God talks about the narrow way and the broad way. And the narrow way leads to life, the broad way leads to destruction. Now, in the days of old, those who went to church were called krife. They were laughed at, they were ridiculed. Hey, Mami Osofo, and all these things. And those who would live the worldly life, ability to drink and dress up provocatively and, go to club and do those things were the norm. So when you are able to do that, then you day form.
Hey, Rev.
But now...
You day form.
You day form. But now, the narrow way and the broad way are both in the church.
Yeah, you're right.
Because today, it is fashionable to be a church goer. Let us forget about whether you're a Christian or not. So you will find that all the provocative dressings and everything, they are in the church today. And so if you are one who goes to church, because you cannot not go to church because of this. Because the Bible says, do not neglect the gathering of the saints. But you see, the day that God called his children, Satan appeared.
Absolutely.
So, the narrow way, you should find it in the church. And how do you do that? I'll give you an example. We were doing a fast in church.
Which church is that?
Oh, Charismatic Evangelistic Ministry, I'm proud to say.
Oh, Reverend Steve Mensah.
Yes.
Okay.
Reverend Stephen Stanley Mensah. I went to our shop. There's a small, tack shop. And I saw a beautiful fabric hanging there for sale.
Right.
And I told the salesman that, oh, this is a beautiful fabric. He said, oh, it's not expensive. You can buy it. I said, I know I can buy it, but we are in a fast. He said, but what has fasting got to do with buying a cloth? And I said, this is what you don't understand. The money that I should use to buy the cloth, I have to go and put it on the altar. I have to sacrifice it. This is a time of self-denial. And he said, so what if after the fasting somebody has bought it? Then I said, yes, that will even be very much the sacrifice that I would have made, because I have denied myself, and I'll be very happy with that. He said, hey, I don't. So I said, If God wants me to have it after the fast, I will come and buy it. And I never bought it. And after the fast, it was there. And I went and bought it. This is the thing.
Yeah.
So we should learn the narrow path. So you should know God for yourself.
Intimately.
Intimately.
I think what is happening today is that you have many people who are following what I call the populous God. The God that is in the church, the God that is in the midst of the music. When the music is over and died out, when the clapping is down, they don't know anybody called God. And that's the challenge. Doc, let's talk about values. All these things we're talking about are very, very critical issues. And I think if you trace it back, it goes back to the issue of the concept of values.
Yeah.
What are some of the critical values that have defined your life today as you are?
Let me find the words to express them. My value in life has been to seek after the welfare of the other person.
Could that be selflessness?
If you give it that word, I don't know if that is. I feel that I have a responsibility to help
Other people.
To help other people. And that, again, goes back to what my father said. Every human being
It's God's creation.
is God's creation. And so, right now, my students are called baby girl, baby child.
You draw them closer. They're a family.
And the young people are going through things. And you know, there's a kind of calling
I
that
didn't hear
I
you
have.
say baby boy.
Oh, I call them BB. Because when you call them baby boy, the men feel embarrassed. I said BB.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay.
And most of my students too are called Mimi.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but Mimi, darling, come.
Okay, sure.
And so that may be true.
Of course, if you spoil the rod, you spoil the child.
You spoil the child.
Absolutely.
You know, and we have become such a family that they kind of never leave me. They go and they come back. Everybody calls me Auntie Sarah.
That's good.
It's as if nobody remembers Doc.
Yeah.
And I like Auntie
That's
Sarah.
the culture you've created.
Yes. I like Auntie Sarah because that is relationship. Doctor is a piece of paper.
Title. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for you, one of the critical values that have defined who you are, your persona,
Yeah.
is thinking about others.
Yes.
Any other value?
The God factor.
God factor. The God factor.
The God factor.
Interesting. You know, I'm going to ask you to address the young people out there, Doc, as we bring this conversation to a close.
Oh, no, don't bring it to a close before I tell you a story.
Please, that's what I'm coming to. Because what I want you to do is whatever you're going to tell the young people out there is to give them hope, to encourage them to embrace the concept of resilience. You just said they are going through a lot. A lot of them are going through so many challenges.
Yes.
Emotionally, psychologically.
Yep.
Forget about the economic issues, but emotionally,
Emotionally.
a lot of young people
A
are
lot
going
of
through
them are
a lot of
empty.
trauma. So how do you weave your storytelling skill in encouraging these young people? You can start with the story you want to tell
I
us.
will tell you a story.
Sure.
This story, I'll make it very short.
Yeah.
You know, the cat and the dog, they are not friends. But they used to be very good friends. They worked and made money. And they wanted to find spouses. And they decided to go outside their immediate environment when everybody knows they are wealthy and therefore will pretend so they can become suitors to their wealth. And they walked and walked, and they arrived in a certain community where they saw that the whole environment was clean and peaceful. And so they said, this is a good place to find a wife. But they arrived in the evening. It was getting dark, so they checked into an inn. But next door to the bed, the room they were given was the kitchen. Soup had been prepared for the next day. The soup was so attractive. In what sense? The aroma of the soup was all over the place, and the dog could not sleep. He was tossing and turning and tossing and turning. And the cat said, Charlie, what's up? He said, oh, the air is too stuffy. Let me open the window. He opened the window. More soup aroma came in. He looked at Cat. Cat was beginning to fall asleep. He jumped through the window. He went to look for the soup pot and found it. The whole place was quiet. He tasted the soup and saw that it was even tastier than it was smelling. He now dished himself a bowl of soup and drank it. This time, Cat was awake and looking for his friend. He came back. Said, where did you go? I said, oh, it's too stuffy. I went out to meet the air.
That's the dog.
That's the dog. Cat said, be careful. You might end up finding the night woman. Let's wait till daybreak. Stop going out. We're strangers here. He said, oh, I know what I'm doing. He kept going out and coming, going out to help himself more.
With the soup.
Of the soup. And then he finished the soup. That was when he realized, what will the people say? This is how sin is. When you start it, you think, oh, it's okay, I have it under control. Oh, I can manage. Oh, this one. But reality will catch up with you. And so, after that, he decided to walk away, leaving his friend the cat in danger. Because when day breaks, everybody will accuse the cat. Cat woke up and saw the footprints of dog at the window. And he realized that all was not well. There was no aroma of soup. Cat decided to leave before daybreak. Otherwise, he will be accused. He opened the door and exited through the door, not through the window. Now, when he got to the outskirts of town, the dog now popped out. Charlie, are they mentioning my name? The cat said, nobody is mentioning your name, but you have left your footprints. Yeah. What footprints are you leaving? What footprints are you leaving wherever you are? Even if you are selling chewing gum in traffic, what footprints are you leaving? Are you deliberately delaying the change so that the traffic lights will turn green and then the driver can drive on and leave the change and you can run off with it? Is that a footprint? What footprints are you leaving? Mr. Director, how do you relate with the people in your office? When you are not there, what do they call you? Remember, your footprints translate into your name. That is the name that you're making for yourself. Before I conclude, I will tell you that there was once a king who had a daughter. The daughter was ready for marriage. And he said he will conduct a contest. The winner will have her daughter as wife. Adorned the daughter and put her up. He sat by her, very well dressed. And then he created a pond and put crocodiles in the pond. And all the eligible young men went to the other end of the pond. And anyone who was able to jump into the pond and who could swim across the pond to the end where the girl is, the first person would marry the girl. But this was not an easy task because there were crocodiles in the water. Everybody came and stood in front of the water and tried to strategize by the crocodiles. And then you get pushed aside. Another person will come. You get pushed aside. You know that kind of contest. And then one boy went and stood in front to try and see what he could do. He didn't know that there was this man who had evil thoughts against him. So the man thought to push him into the water. And he did push the boy into the water. The young man swam with his whole life as if his life depended on it. And why not? His life truly depended on it.
Crocodiles will eat him.
He arrived at the end, got out of the water, turned back. Everybody was stunned. And he asked, "Who pushed me?" And the whole place went up in applause. Brack, 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 brack. He had won the contest. His question, "Who pushed me?" was no longer important. The crocodiles they were afraid of were made of, what do you call it?
Artificial ones.
They were artificial crocodiles. Silicone. So they look like the real, moving like the real, but it was just a toy. And so I say to you, when people plan evil against you, when life becomes challenging and you fall into the deepest hole, have hope. Take heart, because you're going to arrive at the next level. The people who are thinking they are pushing you down, they are helping you to get to the level that they will never get to. Because the king did not give his daughter as wife to him, he also gave him half the kingdom. Such is life. So do not look at the evil that is befalling you now. Look out for the opportunity available to you, because God always leaves a door open. There's always a door of escape. But if you keep looking at the problem, you will miss that door. You will miss that door. What can I say?
That is interesting. This is what we call storytelling. And it's been exciting talking to Reverend Dr. Sarah Dorgbadzi, senior lecturer at the Department of Theater Arts, School of Performing Arts at the University of Ghana, my alma mater. And as you know, we've been talking about storytelling, we've been talking about values, we've been talking about the systems that would push us forward as a nation. And I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to join us every time you find us on your screens, and please give us your feedback. Our production team values your feedback. We'd always want to know what you think and how we can improve our production to make sure that together we can create the Africa that we are all looking for. In case you want to support this program, you find some numbers on your screen. Please feel free, make your donation, but more importantly, let us have your feedback so that we can push this agenda forward. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and like the channel and share the link with your colleagues and your networks so that everybody will know that only Africans can make Africa what it's supposed to be. It's been a pleasure hosting you. My name has always been Emmanuel Day to me. And thank you for watching. We'll come back to you another time. Doc, this is an honor having you in our studios.
We bless God.
I can't thank you enough.